Welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Again, a small crowd of not a crowd. I suspect the diehards are out there, both of you. Hey, Mudshark. I had a sneaking suspicion you were there. Yeah, I want to wrap up this project. And I was like, how do we want to do this? Let's just jump in. And if you've enjoyed this series on YouTube, give it a like, hit subscribe, hit the bell. There will be more things even after this series is done. I'll start something else at some point. Who knows what it will be? Mysteries abound. But let's get into this. We're doing this, we were using approval tests. Here's the approval showing the verified output, or the approved output, which is verified here, that is able to take answers that are scored in a dictionary and spit them out as an array. Now, there are things I don't like about the code. This is a lazy class. It really is. And that says that this doesn't belong here. It probably belongs in our pipeline. Right now, our pipeline, if we look at the tests, it's actually, so the pipeline is the system under test, and it's actually digging into a property and talking to it. And that's not good. We should really be able to say to the pipeline, you know what, give me the problems sorted by score, and not have to talk to the answer accumulator. So that's where I want to go. I want to move stuff out of here, make it available in the pipeline with results. I think this will be really easy with approvals. I'm not sure how easy this will be with TCR, test and commit or revert. And part of me is afraid to try, which means we ought to do it. Like, I want to feel where the edges of TCR are for practical purposes. How practical is it? Is it completely impractical? Especially for a diehard TDDer. One of the big stumbling blocks is that if the tests fail, it reverts. And, that's step one of test-driven development, is to get to a failing test, which means we have to do things in a different order. And I don't want to lean on this checkbox too much. I'm actually not even sure whether this plugin, because it's just a generic IntelliJ plugin that I'm using inside of AppCode, will it pick up my tests? Or maybe I need to specify them in here, but I want to start without this. I want to start with strict TCR. By the way, another thing about TCR that's maybe a little different for us in AppCode land is that because tests are still really cumbersome and slow, even for AppCode compared to other platforms, is that often TCR is set up with a watcher. Actually, maybe we could make a watcher, a file watcher that says, oh, you saved some files, I'm going to run tests. But I'd like to stick with this. And so it will only fire when I run tests. That feels like a bit of a cheat, but means let's run tests a lot. So I want to move this functionality. I want to move it into the pipeline. I want to make it available. I'm not sure how to do this with TCR. TCR seems really good for pure refactoring because by definition, in a refactoring, you don't ever want to go to red. You want to stay out of failing tests at all, not at all costs. Usually and practically, you go red for a bit and you fix forward if it's one step. But how well does it do for creating new functionality, especially with approvals, which approvals brings up the difference so that you can decide whether or not to approve it. Last time we got lucky. I'm not sure how lucky we'll be. Let's give it a try. And welcome to those of you who have joined. I see a few more folks out there. Do say hi in the chat. But let's give it a try. So let's leave this here. Let's go to the pipeline tests and see what we can do here. So the pipeline tests are bringing in just the first 6 lines or so, plus the header line of the actual survey and pumping them out. Test problems. I want to change this to not give us a dictionary, which is what we have right now. So if we look at the problems, it is a dictionary of answers to scores. It happens to be sorted. Look at that. Oh, wait, except for what to test. I expect the high scoring things to be at the top. That's how we want to order this. Okay, so how's this going to work? I don't know. Let's find out. Essentially what I want is to say, I'm just going to start changing this test here. I want to come in here and say, get the scored problems. Or problems by score. Something like that. And right now, I mean, this will fail to compile, clearly. Let's find out what TCR does with this particular plugin called Limited Whip. If I run tests now, it won't run. And I think that means it says, well, the test didn't fail. Okay. So, phew, it lets me do that part of TDD. At least I'm not completely lost. So let's create a new method in here. And this is going to return not a string, but this shape, an array of tuples. Like that. And this will fail right now. And that makes me lick my lips in nervousness because I suspect that as soon as I run this, it will pop up my approvals showing the difference. Yeah, I'm trying to learn what the edges are here. So I rather think that I'd want the tests to stay in place. Particularly in like this, where I want to see the approvals come and I want to see the differences. I think you're right, Mudshark. So there it is. It's empty. It's going to wipe all that out. And oh yeah, it reset it. It reset it. So let's try this again. And let's learn together. If I hit don't revert tests, is this plugin smart enough to detect that something tests.swift is a test file? Let's find out. Let's see. The steps aren't too painful to reproduce. Scored problems. It gives me a chance to change my mind. This is going to be an array of. Try again. Whoop, beach ball. I'm hitting, I've been running app code for a bit and I have now pushed past its there. So here's an app code oddity for when you're coming from Xcode, is that it requires you to specify how much memory to use, and every so often, as it just did, it hit the limit, and so it then went through and did garbage collection. So here's the mystery. I expect this will disappear. The question is, will this stay the same? Let's find out. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so there's our difference. And it didn't pick up the tests. All right, let's try this. So it doesn't recognize this. But let's say, oh, interesting. It's in the suggestion here, it's showing that maybe I ought to have approvals be ignored. That's an idea. Let's start with tests though. So let's see if I say, is that enough? And just to make it quicker, let's change one of these scores. I just want to see if we're getting the ignoring correct. Okay, there's a change in scores. And it says the change list was reverted, and nope, I've got it wrong. All right, let's figure this out. How about this? Try it again. Oh, wait. No, it did it. It did it. I was looking at the wrong place. I forgot that I changed the score up here, and it did keep it. All right, great. So this is fine. We may or may not want approvals in there, but let's stick with this. All right, let me revert this. And get back to green. And now let's try. And let's learn. I'm getting lazier. Let's say problems. It's going to be like that. Now, here's the challenge. This is going to be reverted. Okay, how do we do this? This will be reverted when it fails because I want the approval to go through. Maybe what I want, do I want to turn this off for a second to get a thing in? I'm not sure. Do I want to say don't revert whatever is approved? Here's the format of things that are approved. They actually git ignore shows it right here. Where? Oh no, ignore is ignoring the other, not the approved ones, because those get checked in. Let's try. Let's just learn. Let's say don't revert the approved things. Because now, okay, let's do this. This may be painful, but let's learn. This will fail, but will it keep the approval? Where'd my diff go? Why did it not show? Oh, there it is. Well, these are the old ones that I had left up. That's probably why they were still there. Let's try this again. Let's see if this is getting painful. But honestly, it's not that much typing. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Give me a proper diff. Okay. Let's approve this, even though it's not what I want. It's an array. I really ought to do this as an array. So verify all. One more time. Such pain. Okay. Hey, Garbub, with these changes to your app code, are you actually using TCR methods? Maybe you really want it added that prompts you to commit when a test succeeds. So you're watching me learn TCR live. All I know about it is from really from conversations with Kent Beck. I'm not name dropping there. I paid for the opportunity to have a conversation with him, and it was worth it. So you're watching me learn, and the question is, like, if maybe what I want to do is, why is it throwing? Maybe what I want to do is just copy and paste, or copy this so I don't lose it, but I want to stick with TCR even when it's painful to learn how it works. Okay, so I'm going to approve this and say our length is 0. It keeps it looks okay, so it looks like it kept the approval. And I think that's what we want to do, and that's what it's suggested here. In fact, let me move this to follow the suggestion a little more closely to show that anything that's approved, don't revert, and tests. We're gonna stick with this pattern for now. All right. And what do I want? Let's get a little more funky here. I'm going to call the SUT answer accumulator. Stick with me here. Score all problems, and I'm going to take this answers ordered by score. I'm going to take this thing that we made last time and slap it in here. Whoop. So that we're getting, I'm going to verify, basically I want the actual answers, which I can do because it's just a one-liner, and I'm going to dig it in and it's all in the wrong place, but this is hopefully going to give us the shape of the code we want. Let's find out. And at this point, I haven't made a change. Okay, so this is interesting. So there we see key and value, what to test. That's kind of gross. I don't like it having it say key value, key value. I'd rather it said something. It stripped that out. But let me approve this. And by the way, where are we? Okay, so it hasn't committed anything yet. If I run this now, what's happening here? We have the high scores at the top for the problems. I thought I just approved this. Hang on a second. Let me bring these over again because I'm a little confused. It hasn't. I don't have any change to non-test code. So why did it bring this up again? You probably also need to sort the keys. Is that what's going on? That is what's going on. Thank you for your good eye there. So the 16s are all in place, but the keys are just kind of coming through in whatever order. That's what's going on. And I don't like this key value thing. How to proceed? I'm honestly not sure, but I'm having fun and I'm learning some things. So if I sort by key, having fun is important, and learning things is also important. Both together is awesome. Can I do a sort by key first and then by value? Let's see what this gives us. That doesn't look correct. If oh, it's backwards. So what's happening? I ask myself. I'm iterating on how I'm at this point, TCR is out of the way because of the rules we set. And I'm only changing the test code. So I'm tweaking the approvals to get it right. Okay, here we are. That looks like ordered keys and ordered values and keys within those values to me. Let's approve this. And run it again. And I think at this point it will do a commit. There we go. There's our commit moments ago. We can see the changes in here. Okay. Do I want all that stuff in there? Let's see, this was problems. So here's how it looked before. Here's how it looks now. Yuck. Maybe it's because I'm using tuples that are coming through with key value in them. Maybe what I want is a little type. That expresses itself cleanly. What would that be? Answers, scored answers, scored answer. It would probably be a scored answer. All right, let's continue to lean into sort of doing this. Kind of, I think what's happening is we're falling back on doing TDD like you mean it, which is a technique where you do everything as much as you can within your test code. And that keeps your iterations faster also because it's not going through and rebuilding any production code. And then you say, okay, but that's not where I want it. Or, now I want to deal with the code smells. Like it shouldn't dig in this far. It shouldn't have this logic here and that kind of thing. And this is going to be my cheat. Let's create a type here. Cheating time. Let's create a struct called scored answer, or answer with score, scored answer. And this is going to have the answer and the score. Whoop. Come on, beach ball. We pause a minute. I'm really looking forward to my new MacBook Pro. Like that. So there is a type that's longing to come into existence. And let's run tests. Because I want to commit this. As long as it's green, I want it in there. And so this is, instead of having it sort of automatically do it when I hit save, because I'm not hitting save. I'm just going to run tests a lot. Okay, so it's in there. And the reason I'm like trying to get that habit is that when this moves over into production code, I don't want to lose it. I have the cheat in place, soft TCR. I have no idea how. I need to learn more about, like, watch TCR videos and stuff from other folks to see how did they solve it? What workflows did they discover? What are the patterns? But so far, the pattern that I'm finding, thanks to this soft rule, is do TDD like you mean it. And that is entirely within the test code. So I kind of want to take this. This is problems, and this is going to be dictionary. I'll split it. This will continue to pass. And I want to make a scored answer out of this, right? So I want to say, essentially, I want to map this to scored answers. Let's see if we can. Coming in longhand. This is going to be scored answer. And now this all breaks. Let's see. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Problems sorted by answer. So let's change these. And now I think we'll see something different in the diff. That is, it will say, instead of key value, I think it will say answer score. Better. Not quite what I want. But let's take it. Because it's an improvement, I want to take it. And I want to give, have this give a better description of itself. And so I do this with a custom string convertible. And this is going to be like, how about something like this as my description? Let's see what this looks like. That is much better. That is much better. I'm going to accept that or approve it. Run tests again to lock it in place. As soon as it gets to green, it commits. All right. And now that's what I want. Okay, so what do we have? Problems. This is now giving me the output that I want for this test. I think this is fine. 0, async. Our top 3 problems from these just first 6 entries are people face problems with async, with just basics, and what to test. Seems good. I can now leave this alone, and I can start moving things and following the smells and saying this doesn't belong here. So the first thing I want to do is move this and say, let's create a new type, or let's move it out of the test code and have it go over here. So this will be a Swift type called scored answer. That's a struct. It goes into survey core. I can just cut and paste. Probably don't even need that. And now, drum roll. Will this pass? If it passes, it commits. All right, let's keep moving on smells. There's gobbledygook here. All this stuff of getting the problems and mapping it and then sorting it and sorting it again all belongs somewhere else, like in the pipeline. So let's start to move all this. In fact, let's see if I can't sort of pick it up and drop it in to the pipeline somehow. This is going to be going to return an array of, what was it, scored answers? Problems is getting in the way. What's it? Method cannot be declared public because it uses an internal type. Oh, thank you. Will it fix it for me? Will it fix it for me? No. So let's make this public. And I'm getting nervous by all the changes that are starting to happen now. But I should be able to get rid of anything that says SUT. That now, and this should give us, we should be able to return that. I think this will be fine because nothing's calling it. Property. Try again. Cross fingers. So far, I haven't really been bit by a big change, but I know that my day is coming. Okay, so I've got it over here, and now I should be able to say SUT all the problems, or get all the problems, and get rid of all this. I believe this will pass. It may still be ugly. Great. This is starting to go places. Okay, so we've created this new struct. That's nice. We've created a new method. So first we process in the pipeline, we say process the survey, and then we can say, now give me the problems as an array of answers, and it's all sorted. I could chain this whole thing. What would it look like to say just do that? Still a little gross, but I'm going to make it cleaner. So once we're essentially, I got the test hard-coded, and now I'm shifting stuff around. We're now in pure refactoring, and I should be able to just clean this up and say, let's give me like that. This is fun. Whew. Now what I want to reformat all this. That's nicer. There we go. That's more like it. Answer accumulator, score all problems, mapping it, sorting by the answers, and sorting by the scores. That seems much more reasonable, or reads like a data pipeline. Woo! How y'all doing? This is really cool. All right. Can we get the others in place? How to do this in steps? I don't know. Because I want to do the desires next. If this looks an awful lot, this should look an awful lot like that. Let's do this. I'm greatly afeared because this is going to be score all desires, and this is going to go away. This is going to pop away on me. At this point, I feel like I want to turn off TCR just for a second. Is that horrible? Let's do it. Mainly, I just don't want to bounce through that sequence again. Okay? And that's wrong because I forgot that I want to verify all. By wrong, I mean the output was wrong. I want each thing on separate lines like that. Let's approve this. And this feels like cheating, but I want to hear from other TCR folks after, if anyone who is watching this video, a recording of this, and you have any familiarity with TCR, what do you call what I just did? And is that a horrible cheat to say, turn it off for a second? It seems like, are you breaking your micro commit rules? I've watched you make smaller changes into a commit. Maybe. And I appreciate being called out. So thank you for calling me out. Let's see if we can't get smaller, because that's really okay. Let's try this. Let's try this last one without turning it off. All right. That time I cheated. Mudshark says it's just smart. Pragmatic maybe, but maybe I'm not learning the lesson I need to learn, which is what Garbob says. To move in smaller changes, because as soon as I can do work in smaller changes, I'll be fine. Here's a smaller change. Let me do this. I'm going to say, let's score all killer features. Nothing is calling this. So this should pass. And when it passes, it should commit. This is good. There was something about the cheating that was bothering me, and maybe it's pragmatic in real life, but maybe no. I can feel the sort of the pressure of TCR, and I need to learn from that. When I want to turn it off, I need to ask myself the question, what change can I make so that I don't lose everything? What can I do in a small step? Now here, the small step is still several lines, but it's several lines that I'm pretty sure are good. And now, this will fail until I approve it. But because it's a test-only change and the rules I've set up, okay, so there's nothing with the super high score here, but I'm going to take it. And now, and it popped up the thing saying it reverted, although I don't think it reverted anything. Good. All right. We are learning. So, what did I just learn? I learned that when I feel the desire to say, I just want to do this thing, I want to do this thing, TCR, go away for a second, look aside. What I'm losing by doing that, or what I need to recognize from that, is the pressure that my changes are still too big. Garbob for the win. And just to confirm, here's our ongoing series of commits. Now we have duplicated code. And I should be able to say, well, this is where I don't know. I probably can't take all this and say pull it into a function, because it's like, what is that thing? But let's see what we can do. If I make a private helper that takes an array or a dictionary, it's going to take a dictionary and return like that. It doesn't like, oh, it needs a name. moving in small steps, learning from the pressure. So it looks like part of the pattern, again, the rhythm, is to say, let's build up our helper. Let's build up something even before something is calling it. And I want to say answers like that. And now maybe I can say score all killer features sort answers like that. Let's find out. Woohoo! Cool. Same here. I like the rhythm that it's building in me also of running tests frequently. And I like not having to come up with committing. It's just doing it for me. And this pipeline has grown in ways I did not anticipate. And you know what now? The answer accumulator we made last time is now pointless. I want to get rid of it. This thing. Not that thing. Not that one. Answers ordered by score. Right? Nothing is calling this. I should be able to delete these tests. So I'm deleting the, yes, do it. I deleted the tests and the approved text. Nothing should be calling this. I should be able to say, get rid of that. Delete it anyway. It's complaining because it's used in the project. And I should be able to be fine. Clean that up a bit. All right. Well, you know what I think we're ready to do? I think I'm ready to do the final step. Oh, wait. There's a bit of noise in here in that this is, nothing should be accessing this now. I can make it private. All right. And let's now switch over to the survey proper, the main here. Because now I should be able to say, give me the pipeline problems, and I just want, say, the first 10. How do I do that? How can I ask an array to say, give me up to 10 of you, drop everything else? Drop first. I don't want to drop first. It's like I want to do the opposite of this. I want to say keep first. How do I do that? Err. Any ideas? I don't want to drop first. Take. Welcome, Zephyrial. I'm curious where, and Since this is it shows that this is your first time saying something, I'd be curious to know where in the world you are, because people watch this from all over. Take doesn't seem to know take. Welcome from Spain. Awesome. You know what I miss? I miss NS Spain. I know NS Spain is now a remote event for its second year, but I just miss being there. All right, drop last. Cool. Thank you, Mud Shark. Let's take this. I think I'm going to have to take the problems and extract them to a variable. So let's say it does that nicely for me, and I should be able to print let's see if we can't do this. Problems. Drop last, where this is going to be the problems length or count. Let's see what this does, if anything. Error. Oh, I moved this back. The path is now, let's get the full and glorious path. And not quite. The file survey couldn't be opened. Oh, survey and survey CSV. So this is fast feedback. It's no longer in test land. I'm just running main, and we crash. Range out of bounds. It seems unlikely that they're less than 10. Let's print all the problems. And see what we get. All right. Let's comment that line out and see. Okay, so I'm definitely have some issues here. Oh, there's something going wrong inside of here. Ouch. All right, I'm crashing in there. This time I'm going to fire it up with the debugger and find out. Yes. All right. Ooh. Oh, it's in this code that I never even cleaned up to strip the quotes. Ouch. String length is 328. The string itself is comma separated entry. Well, got some problems here. If you're okay hanging on, I feel like today seems like a good day to go over time a bit. So here's the, are there any quotes in the freeform fields? So the stripping is dying on the first one. You need to remove the escaped quotes. I'm not sure if what's escaping them or if that's really there. I think that is just a view. That's just app code. Here we can check. So if I print, isn't it PV? Or is it V? I don't know. I know PO is old school. It shows you how little I use the debugger. This is like first time I think in this whole series you're seeing me use a debugger command. I think that this is not actually present. That the escaping, I'm not sure. Help. I'm also a little confused. In that, oh, this could be several lines down, couldn't it? Like, I don't know where in the CSV this is. Let's find out. Okay, so it's down in line 11 here. Yep, I'm with you. Here's the CSV, and we can see it more clearly here. Quote. Whoops. So it seems to have successfully processed the first few entries and died here and why. Let's go back to the code. In the CSV, let's look for \quote. Nope, don't see it. There's lots of this. And let's just check line 11 here to make sure. I am not sure. All right. At this point, I think I would like to keep going and solve this. If Mudshark, you in particular, but other folks, if you're okay to stick around, because, oh god, this is close. I need to use the boys' room. All right. I will be right back, and let's continue. Okay. The great thing about taking a break is, and stepping away from the computer, is more ideas, right? The relaxing, you're giving your brain a chance to relax, and it's like, oh, I've got the quieter parts of my brain have some ideas about how to proceed. And in particular, I'm going to stop the debugger here, come back to that CSV, and say, let's find that one line in particular. that we want because we can bring that into a test. I'm just going to make a new test here. Let's get back to test land. Make sure we are moving in small steps. Okay. Now let's make a pipeline and process. Process this string. Now when I paste it in, it does paste the it adds backslashes because to escape the quotes, and that's fine, right? And this dies. This should probably just die right here. Let's run this. What is happening? Let's make this a multi-line. Paste in 3 of these. And let's see if this dies. There. Why? Okay, I don't think it's this line. It may be a missing comma, maybe. So was it the following line? Let's find out. If this one crashes, I don't care if one or the other. Okay. Is it both of them together? Yes. It needs both of them together. So that does suggest that there may be a missing comma, which is kind of funny. All right. So if I select this and say count the commas within, I thought there was a thing to say within, in the selection. Here we go. This says there are 16. And this says there are 18. Bump, bump, bump. Oh boy, how am I going to sanitize this? I'm not sure how this even happened. So there are 18 commas down here, but 16 up here. So if I add a couple more, I don't think the commas are in the freeform text because I think that's why the export to CSV added the quotes. Oh, you mean in the counting. Right. Let's try. Let's sort of do this by hand and say ignore. And now that's 15 and 18. Well, that still seems really far off. Wait, same thing here. Let's see if there are other quotes. Here's another quote. All right, thank you. Right, so I've stripped out the quoted parts, and let's see. 10, 15. What is happening? What is happening? Missing one group. Let's see, the data in question was I deleted it. Not knowing where to start. Yeah, not knowing where to start. I really like the ease of finding the history here. I know Xcode has that also. I just like being able to do it with a keystroke. So let's say not knowing where to start. Let's find that in the that's it. They're right there at line 11. Core data, JSON, answer. Here we have confidence, blank, 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 and legacy code, blank, blank, blank. So here's legacy code, blank, blank, blank. Then we have confidence, blank, blank, blank. Then we have core data, JSON, and empty. What is it about this line? Did you remove too much from line 2? This is the other question, is why is it... It was dying in the regular expression, wasn't it? Let's see, testable code, legacy code, CI. Testable code, legacy code, CI, blank. Yeah, this is way off here. Stuff is definitely getting chopped there. But the funny thing is that just doing this by itself is okay? Well, now I've really changed it, so let's bring this back in. Like, I'm still a little confuzzled as to why this would pass with one line, but the regular expression would choke on 2. I think we need to come back to that clue that it's something about, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I must have eaten up several more quotes. Here's another quote. Here's another quote. But this will now die. Let's try debugger again. First, I want to see this croak. Didn't croak. Why didn't it croak? Uh-oh. This croaks. The line end. I mean, is it that? Whoops. I'm confused. I could have sworn that copying lines 10, 11, and 12 and pasting them in here died. It does die. All right, let's just work with this. Let's debug this. Here comes the debugger. Ranger expression out of bounds. Didn't I say to debug it? Yes, there it is. I am a little confused as to why it's not stopping, but let's set some breakpoints. Yuck. Feels like a failure when I have to set breakpoints. But hey, tools. Don't complain about your tools. All right, let's set a breakpoint there. Oh. Yeah, it's coming in as comma-separated entries. Oh, excuse me. You didn't need that. Right, so this is it's coming through the entries. Oh, I know why. Here's the theory. I don't want to get too distracted here, but I forgot that the first line in the survey is ignored. That might explain why. Like that is more accurate. That might explain sort of why I needed to pull in 3 lines. Okay. And I believe that getting rid of this one will now pass. Did not. That is sufficient. But running it by itself, that was the problem. Running it by itself, yeah, worked because it stripped out the first line. Yep. All right, let's turn off the our TCR friend. Okay, now we have one case that fails, one single line that dies. Good. Thanks for sticking around. Extra long. Okay. So here's our comma separated entry. Let's start working through this. Let's see if John can remember how to use a debugger. Right, so we have the string length. Let's figure out some things here like 320 characters. And I assume I'm not worrying about Unicode. I just assume characters is characters. String length. Ooh. That could be the problem. String length is taking the length of bytes in UTF-8, and then we have our expression that is looking for a quote with a greedy consumption of anything inside of it, but string by replacing. Okay. I think this is our clue here. So we've got this whole long string. We've got 328 characters if it's converted to UTF-8. But I'm doing a string by replacing matches. So this is like, what's going on in here? Options. Report progress, report completion, anchored with transparent bounds, without Anchoring bounds. Okay, I don't know what any of that is, and it doesn't seem relevant. Oh boy. I think it's time for the great Google. Is it that? Let's stick with our test code where it's easier to see it. Let's shorten this just to be less bar. Let's see if this still dies, or if there's something about the regular expression. Okay, that still dies. It's not this period, is it? Let's see if this still dies. Oop. Is it this? I think I just found it. I bet that the smart quote. Okay, there it is. I don't think it's a backtick. It is a single smart quote, which is being evaluated as like, well, I've got to Unicode something this. Oh, okay. Found the problem. I believe this will still die. That is definitely the problem. I now face a choice. Do I want to improve my parsing, or am I just going to be lazy? And I'd rather be lazy and say, look for backticks and change them to single quotes, because I'm done with this project. I think this will pass. Let's try it. Oh, it must have reverted my change to main. Yep. All right. Get this here. Pass that in. So I'm just going to commit this. I'm not going to commit these yet. So this is a bug fix path to CSV. And now, uh-oh. I thought I excluded the survey itself. Let me address this. And now let's try. It still dies. Craptastic. Where does it die? It's still dying in the same thing, but now let's see what... I bet it's a similar problem. Yep. Look at that. These quotes in here are throwing it off. Arg! Okay. I am... I hate cheating like this. I hate cheating like this. But I honestly think... I don't know. Let's just... Let's fix that. Fix that. And try this again. Okay. It didn't die. Yuck. I expect this will... Not scores. Problems. Beach ball. This is an interesting discovery about the Unicode representation. There we go. Whole... Actually, everything... Oh, look at that. I can finally see, for the very first time, all the problems, and legacy code is number one. I did not expect that. Like, significant. This is really cool. Oh, ha, ha. Okay, let's finish this off. Yeah. Uh, it's getting to be too much stuff. I feel like we have had a whole session that there needs to be formatting, and there needs to be this other stuff. Blah, 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 blah. Yep. Heck. Let's continue tomorrow. We will not finish today. We have our first teasing peek, and maybe I'll revert the changes to the CSV and we'll actually solve the Unicode problems. Let's do that. Oh, right. Thank you for sticking with me. This went on way longer. I'm so damn close. Software. Oh, very interesting though. Thank you for sticking around. Super long, like twice as long as I normally do, because I thought I was close. Lesson to self, break it up, keep moving in small increments. I just thought it was going to be an extra 5 minutes. But I appreciate your sticking with me, helping me through, asking good questions, trying to diagnose the problem. We found the problem. We don't know the solution. I'm going to revert and we'll take it on tomorrow and we'll do some formatting. It's going to be beautiful. Hey, take care. Let's call it quits. I'll see you tomorrow. If you're available tomorrow. Come on by. All right? Take care.